Hello my dear class, how are you all? Class, today I am going to teach you about how we can separate a solid from a liquid. You know, when solid and liquids are mixed in a homogeneous mixture, their separation needs to be selected, and the method of separation depends on whether the solid is soluble or insoluble in the liquid. So here we begin the discussion with the introduction. You see, when we mix solid and liquid, there are two types of solids. One, the soluble ones, like the sugar and salt. Normally, when we add salt and sugar into water, upon mixing with a spoon or a stirrer, it is disappeared. That means it is dissolved in water. So that's a solution of a soluble solid. But when we observe, when we add sand in water, upon very thorough mixing or mixing for a longer time, the salt does not disappear and is settled in the bottom of the container. So this is the mixture of an insoluble solid in the liquid. And this is our normal observation in our daily life, that some of the solids can be seen when they are mixed in water and some of them are dissolved and disappeared. So when the appearance is not same, how come the method of separation will be the same? So here we will learn about filtration, and this is the method by which we can separate or remove the insoluble solid from the water. So filtration is a process to separate insoluble solid from its solution from liquid, right? For example, you will remember this method. This method is used to separate sand from water. So this is how we perform filtration when we sieve or filter the tea leaves while we make tea at home. We pass the liquid tea through a sieve and the tea leaves are stopped here, blocked here, and the liquid tea passes the sieve. So for this purpose, when we perform this in any industry, in any lab, we'll be using this funnel. You see, this is a glass funnel which holds this filter medium on it, which is called as a filter paper. So this paper is a specially constructed or designed paper, which is a cellulose paper, but the paper is made especially to hold the larger size of solid particles in between its pores, and there is a very little space between the pores. Like if I draw the cross section, suppose this is a filter paper which is having very small holes on it. So these small passes the liquid through it and it holds the solid larger size particles on it. So this is how it happens. So we will be needing a funnel, a filter paper which will be shaped four-folded like this cone, and we will fix this cone in the funnel. Okay, then we'll be having a container to collect the separated liquid. Here we have a mixture of sand and water. We'll be pouring this mixture on this filter paper. The liquid which will be passing this filter paper will be called as filtrate. So here you see the cleared solution is obtained as a filtrate. which is passing the filter paper, but the solid will be blocked here and will not be allowed to pass the very small size pores of the filter paper, and it will be collected here on the cone, which is called as a residue. So this is how we perform it in the lab, as we used to filter our tea or coffee to remove the husk from it, to remove the fibers from it. So we can also perform this process in any industry or in any lab. And whenever you will be asked some question about, write down a method of separation to separate sand from water, so your answer will be filtration. The next is evaporation to dryness. Seawater contains dissolved salt, and in order to harvest salt from seawater, very large pans of sea water are evaporated to dryness. So you can see very large trays are exposed to sun, so that the liquid will be evaporating into the air, leaving behind the heaps of salts like this. So this process is globally used to get salt from seawater. And why this method is called as evaporation to dryness? Because all of the liquid has been evaporated. The next is, we observe that there are some solids which are sensitive to heat and which show chemical changes upon heating, so they cannot be collected by heating. So such solids, or very bulk amount of solids, are obtained by this method, and it is used to obtain a soluble salt from a solution. So you see, there's something to be learnt here, that this is how we are getting salt from liquid, and which is a soluble solid. The next, we can also perform this experiment by heating the blue color solution of copper sulfate into this china dish. This is porcelain dish, ceramic made, and in this blue solution was heated in a lab, and all of the liquid evaporates into air, leaving behind the solid, which is again copper sulfate is COPPERSULPHATE. It's a blue color solid, and the formula is CuSO4. So you see, this is the solid from which all of the liquid has been evaporated. Now we will learn about a new method which is called as crystallization. Crystallization has two spellings, one with Z, the other with S. Crystallization is the process by which a solid forms where the atoms or the molecules are highly organized into a structure known as a crystal. So first we understand what a crystal is. A crystal is the piece of solid in which the atoms or particles are having a definite geometrical position. So when we have solution in which the solid is dissolved and we get crystals, solid pieces, then we call this process as crystallization. As you see, when we keep a bowl of water into the refrigerator, after some time we see the crystals of water is formed. This is the process when water molecules arrange them in a solid pattern, in a definite pattern of position to form a crystal. Physical substance remains the same, means the chemical composition does not change, only the arrangement of particles result the crystallization. So crystallization is not only performed in lab, it is a very important industrial process by which we are getting our sugar, the industrial white sugar, and we are getting this sugar from the saturated solution of sugar. Like this, we are getting from sugar cane, and when we heat the No, we don't heat. We just heat the solution to get it in smaller amount. We say this is concentrated, and we leave this sugar solution for some time so that the sugar crystals start appearing. This is the process by which the solid appears from dissolved form to undissolved form. So this is a method by which we can also purify impure solids. For example, this question is frequently asked. I have taken this from the textbook. How we can obtain pure copper sulfate crystals by crystallization. So whenever you are asked about crystallization, this is one very easy example, and you will learn the steps how you will obtain pure copper sulfate from impure one. So this step involves first solution making. So you will be dissolving the impure copper sulfate crystals in